Happy Thanksgiving, YouTube family and podcast family. Welcome to Escape from Crazytown to our Happy Crappy Hour live stream. I'm so excited to have you guys here and I'm glad that you're joining me. So, this is awesome. I'm so glad that you're here. I wanted to tell you guys, oh my gosh, there's so many interesting stories that have happened in the last week. Uh, I've been reading, what is it? I've been reading Character Disturbance by George Simon, which I highly recommend. I'm partway through, probably a quarter or a third of the way through. And George Simon is a psychotherapist, I'm sorry, clinical psychologist. And he's been doing this for over, I want to say, he's been doing this for over 30 years. And he wrote this book called Character Disturbance. And oh my gosh, so while I'm reading this book, I'm realizing I am absolutely doing the thing I should be doing because so much of what he is saying is exactly what I have deduced from just my experiences with what has happened with the narcissists in my life. The things that my instincts told me, and I think you guys probably have the same types of instincts too, because there's always something inside of you that goes, there's just something wrong here. Something is just not quite right. And the society or what we've learned from pop psychology contradicts what we're feeling, contradicts what we're seeing. And George Simon explains, and this is what I really love about him. He has said that, in his 30 years of doing, what is it, clinical psychology, he's learned that he has to re-educate himself from his classical training because his classical training had a lot of holes in it, and they had a lot of assumptions that they made as therapists, as psychologists, about human behavior that turned out to be not completely accurate because they did not see the scope of personality disorders, right? They did not see the scope of character disturbance. And I'm going to get into that. It is so amazing. But today I want to talk about the curse, right? The narcissist curse that carries forward through our holidays that just, it makes it so much harder for us. I mean, holidays are hard enough as it is, right? From past trauma, from growing up, from family problems, whatever, we grew up with, and we have bad memories. And if it's not from family, it might be from other relationships. And just, it's sort of like even though holidays are supposed to be this wonderful, beautiful time of year, a lot of times it gets us to reflect on our darkest times, our darkest moments through the year. And it doesn't bring about good feelings, right? It starts to make you feel more lonely and more depressed. And especially when you look around and you see people behaving in a way that reflects what you want, right? They're happy, they're together, they're dating, they're married, they have kids, or large family gatherings, reunions, and you might be just yourself and your friends. You might be far from your family. You might have only 2 or 3 people remaining in your family, and it doesn't feel like this big celebratory time. But the narcissist curse, if you're on this channel at all, you may be carrying this around with you on top of all of that. And that ruins the holidays for you. It really does. It sabotages you. So I want to talk about how then, well, what is this curse? And then how do we get rid of it? So you guys, I'm so glad to see you here. John, good to see you. Good morning. And 10, happy Thanksgiving to you. Charlotte, hi. This is so great. I'm so glad you guys are here. So, and I'm glad that I'm able to be here with you. My family is here. They flew in. I'm so glad that they're here, but they understand that this is my passion. You guys are my passion, and they're happy to let me have this time with you, and I'm so glad. You guys, I'm good. I'm so glad to see you. I don't know how to say this. I keep stumbling over my words. See, Thomas, good to see you. Good morning. Well, you guys, one of the things I do want to share with you about George Simon, the one who wrote Character Disturbance. I want to share this with you, and I'm going to add this book to my list of books that I recommend. You can find that list on my website, escapefromcrazytown.com. And if you order from there, that's great because it goes straight to Amazon and it goes through my affiliated link, and they give me a little bit of a kickback because I recommend it. What else is there that I should tell you about? I also have a podcast, so if you want to just listen to these happy crappy hours and not watch it through YouTube, I think the podcast may be a little bit better in that it doesn't have as many commercial breaks. I'm not quite sure. And then again, the podcast you can find on Stitcher or Google Podcast, or what's the other big one? All the big ones. So that's another possibility for you if you want to just listen while you're driving or something like that. And be safe though while you're driving, focus on the road. Okay, you guys, let's get started. Our happies and crappies today. I am happy because my family is here. We've got several members that have come in and we're getting ready. I have a friend who's coming over who we have a lot in common because she also was raised by a narcissistic parent and who is still there. And he, the stuff that she goes through, we have, as dark as our background is, we are able to make light of it. So that's my happy. My happy is that, it's great when you can get together with people who have struggled through the same challenges and the same traumas, and yet you can make light of it and you can see this really screwed up, messed up way it was and laugh about it because you're just like, just amazed how crazy it was, how total Crazytown was. Anyway, let me go into, my crappy. Let me think what my crappy was this week. Oh, I don't know that I really had a crappy. I mean, I'm sure I did, but I'm so glad that I don't remember it because every week, there always backslides a little bit. Each week that, I know what one was. I had an argument with a family member. Felt so bad, but we worked through it. We were together and we didn't mean to offend one another, but I think we were both kind of grouchy or irritated about certain things, and we tend to be on eggshells when we're around each other. We love each other a lot, but we tend to be on eggshells when we're around each other. So we did get into a slight yesterday, and then we went to lunch, and during lunch she brought it up and I was like, oh no. She told me how my behavior or what I said affected her, how it affected her. And you know what? Honestly, at first I thought, this again, why do we have to keep revisiting this? But I also realized she needed to talk. She needed to tell me how she felt, and I needed to hear her out. So I know that the place that it comes from is not that she hates me, but it comes from a place where she wants there to be peace between us. So we listen to each other without attacking, without saying, you did this. I think what really helped our conversation is we both had learned how to say things like, when I did this, I did not mean to make you feel this way, or I apologize that it made you feel this way, right? She felt criticized by me. So when I told her, when I make suggestions or something like that, I don't mean to criticize, and I apologize for making you feel like it was a criticism, or not. I didn't say making you feel it, but I said, I'm sorry that it made you feel like it was, that you were being criticized. I certainly did not mean that. And I think that goes such a long way, because when people say, I'm so sorry if you felt this way, don't ever say that. Don't ever tell somebody, I'm sorry if what I did made you feel this way. They're telling you it made them feel this way. So acknowledge it. Just let them know, I did not mean to make you feel that way. That was not my intention at all. And I apologize for that. Maybe my choice of words were bad. Maybe my tone was wrong. And I will work on that. Anyway, it went a long way and we were both able to work through it. I think we're gonna, and each time we talk these things out, we get stronger, we get closer. So my crappy turned into a really good thing, and that's the whole point of Happy Crappy Hour is keep doing the things that are good. So those are your happies that happen during the week. Keep doing those things. And the crappies, well, learn from them. Learn from them and change and become better and just improve your life, improve yourself, improve the world around you so that everybody who comes into your circle, who are in your part of your world, they leave happier, they leave better, they leave stronger. This is going to be so amazing if you can do that. Well, you guys, Jihad, good to see you. I'm so glad that you're here. You guys are so awesome. Thank you, 10. I really appreciate that. Well, today's topic is about the narcissist curse. Oh my gosh. And that curse, if you've been raised by a narcissist, if you've been in a relationship with a narcissist during the holidays, you will know what I'm talking about. They totally ruin the holidays. A lot of times you'll think back to the holidays and remember how utterly alone you felt, how utterly horrible you felt about yourself, because the narcissist will in some way make you feel like, I don't know what it is, but it's a time when, yes, we're all a little bit more stressed. We're all a little bit more sensitive, right? We're all a little bit more aware of what we want and maybe not have. But the narcissist exacerbates that. They make it so that I think it attacks them more than it attacks us. These feelings of inadequacy or feelings of loneliness or feelings of I'm not where I want to be, or I'm not at a stage of my life that I want to be, right? And they take it out on you because they're more upset than we are. And then on top of that, because the holidays are about everybody, not just one person, they cannot handle it. So, of course, they have to make it about them and why everybody should be focused on their happiness and making them happy. And of course, they're miserable and there's no way to make them happy. Oh my gosh. So you take this curse with you. What I mean by this curse is you take this damaging feeling of criticalness that they left with you. They've told you throughout the years or months or weeks that you'd been with them, but if you had been with them through the holidays, they've also ruined your holidays. They've also, those are the times that's sort of like the apex of their dementia, the apex of their emotional crazy outburst. And you have experienced or been victimized by it, right? So you take this on, even though you may not even be with them anymore, you're carrying it forward into the holidays, right? And I want to tell you, there's a way to get rid of this feeling. There's a way to get rid of this feeling of criticalness, this feeling of how you fail, feeling of failure. It's this feeling that things are just negative and wrong and dark. You don't have to take that with you. And even though whether the narcissist was there or not, you might still feel that way. I don't know how I'm saying this, but there is a way to break through this curse. So let's begin with that. This is a time when a lot of people start to reflect and examine their lives. And this is why it starts to come out. This is why the curse starts to come out. You start to reflect and examine your life. So you're remembering the things, the times especially the times you've had with the narcissist, and you're incorporating that into your holiday. You're incorporating the horrible disaster that was your relationship, or the abuse, or the discard, right? The final discard. And you're bringing that into your current situation, even though it may have happened years ago. It may have happened months ago, but you're carrying this sadness along with you. What I want you to do, as you're even possibly missing the narcissist because you're feeling more lonely, you're thinking, I would rather have the narcissist, as crazy as they were, and not be lonely. You have to erase that. That's step number one. You have to combat that feeling where you're missing the narcissist through the holidays, okay? You have to remember how horrible they had actually made it. And if they were there, you really would regret having them there. Having them there just to have a live, warm person around is not worth it. You have to remember, and I've said this many times, making a list of all the bad things they've done, it will snap you out of missing them. It'll make you glad that they're not there anymore. Even though you might miss the good times, it'll snap you out of that as well, because it'll make you realize that there were more bad times than there were good times, or that the bad times were so bad that it was worth not having them anymore. You guys, let me see here what you guys, so that was point number 1. C. Thomas says, my happy having a better Thanksgiving than last year. Yes, you were discarded last year during the holidays, but today going to see family and you're happier. That's great. Flyware, good to see you. Oh, you guys, you know what? I'm going to turn on live chat. There we go. I just realized why sometimes I don't see comments, because YouTube automatically does a top chat. So they only show me, I don't know how they determine what a top chat is, but they don't show me all the live chat that's going on. So I have to go into the messages here, or this setting, and change it to all the live chat. So if I haven't seen you and did not acknowledge you and say good morning, it's probably because of that. Flyware says, I got a 60-inch 4K, oh my gosh, TV to treat myself. That's great. Actually, that's one of my points too, by the way. It will come up later. Flyware, my happy is it's my birthday tomorrow. Well, happy birthday. Glad to see that. Grace, good to see you. Says, my father ruined every holiday, birthday, special occasion. I don't remember a time growing up where we enjoyed one. He woke up yelling and screaming at everyone and started trouble out of nowhere. Exactly. That's the narcissist curse that carries with you, even when they're not in your life anymore, or even when you've moved out of the house and you're away from them. It carries with you this darkness, this sadness. And I want to talk to you about getting rid of it. Obi-Wan, good to see you. Good to see you. Huda, good to see you. Good morning. Flyware says, oh yes, someone said, Obi said, happy birthday to Flyware. I got a crappy message from my narc brother. I went no contact 3 years ago and he still holds the grudge. Didn't let it get me down though. Yes. They will too. You may even hear from the narcissist during the holidays, because especially if they are without supply, which rarely they are, but there are some out there that have no supply. They will reach out to supply that's still willing to keep them or allow them into their life. Well, you guys, let's move on to number 2 about this curse and how to get rid of it. Because the curse comes not just from the narcissist, but we incorporate it into how we feel about ourselves. We incorporate our relationship and our experience with the narcissist into our identity. And we think, we entertain the idea that their criticisms could be accurate. So we take that criticism onto ourselves. When we reflect on our year, on our lives during the holidays, and we kind of do, we look back and we're like, what did I accomplish this year? There's a New Year's resolution coming up, right? In January. What am I going to change? We start to re-examine or examine what's happened in our lives, but we do it in such a critical way that it damages us even further. So I want to stop that. I want to stop that curse. Stop damaging us, right? I don't want you to be more damaged through the holidays. I want you to be stronger. I want you to have the tools to get you through the holidays, enjoy the holidays, and then not only that, but build this great foundation so that you can move forward and leave the curse behind. I just want to tell you that. Okay, so number 2 is, so instead of just reflecting on your life, because we do tend to be more critical of ourselves, okay? When we look at other people, we tend to think good things about them, and we're less critical of them for doing and making the same mistakes that we make, by the way. But when we look at our own lives, we don't give ourselves as much of a pass. We don't give ourselves grace for making mistakes. I was watching, oh my gosh, a talk show on women who had been abused, right, by their husbands. And each of them said they did not consider it abuse while they were married. Like at first, they just didn't consider it that, because this is supposed to be somebody who loves them. And somebody who loves you wouldn't abuse you like this, right? So they kind of took on the criticalness, they took on the abuse, and they did not see themselves as being a victim of their spouse's abuse. And I think this happens with men too. It just happened that they did not have men on this panel. But I know, and I have read articles where men were abused by their wives, and they didn't consider that they were victims of abuse either. They didn't see themselves as victims. But here's the thing. When each of these people were asked in a scenario where another person was going through exactly the same experiences they were with their spouse, would you consider that person being abused? And they all said yes. Yes, of course. They can see so clearly that the other person, you know, in the exact same situation that they're in, is a victim. The exact same person, or I'm sorry, the exact same situation. When they see another person or hear of another person going through those experiences, they have grace for that person. They don't blame that person. They don't say, how did you get yourself into that abusive situation? They think, oh my gosh, you know, how can I help you? And you didn't deserve that. But what we tend to do to ourselves when we look at our own abusive situations is we blame ourselves. We tell ourselves, how did I let myself get into that? Why did I listen to those lies? How was I so easily manipulated? How was I so blind? Why was I so stupid? You know, stop that thinking. That's my number 2. Stop that thinking. When you reflect on your life, don't reflect on it as if it's you. Reflect on it as if it was somebody else going through what you did, and give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. Break this curse of criticizing yourself and putting yourself down, you guys. I don't want you doing that through the holidays. And if you catch yourself doing that, right? If you catch yourself feeling negative about yourself, stop. Stop right in that moment and picture somebody else that you love going through what you're thinking about yourself. Would you want that person you love thinking that way about themselves? So that's what I want to tell you about. When you reflect on your life, reflect on it in a way as if you're loving the person that's going through that situation. Number 3, by the way, is that I want you to write, instead of, here's another thing. When we reflect on our past, we generally think about the negatives. Our mind just we may think of some of the positives, but the negatives generally overwhelm the positives. And some of us don't even think about the positives at all. We think only of the negatives that happen through the year because we want to change that, which is good, right? Because we want to avoid that in the future, which is understandable. But we also need to focus on the good. So you guys, this is Thanksgiving, and part of Thanksgiving is gratitude, right? So today, especially, sit down, and as you start to reflect, and I want you to carry this list with you through the next month and a half, okay? All the way through the holidays, all the way through Christmas and into the new year. Write a list of all the blessings you received this year. New friends, new job, new neighbors that you like, if you got a new pet, if you had gone on hikes, just anything that you enjoyed. Did you go jogging? Did you go work out? Even if you quit, right? Did you do it for a few weeks? That's great. Will you start again? Maybe, maybe that will inspire you to pick it up again. Did you start golfing? Did you start, think about the blessings that you had this year. Did you find a new restaurant that you really enjoy? Start writing down this list of blessings as you reflect on your year, okay? Start with first start with whatever pops into your mind. But then when you start to struggle with ideas, go month to month. Go from January to February, March, April, each month. Try to remember something good from that month that happened. And then take this list with you. Hopefully it's a list of 10 or more things. So every day, take a look at that list for the next several weeks as you go through the holidays. This is going to reset your mind and start to push out the curse of the narcissistic abuse, okay? It's going to start pushing away the curse of this criticism and self-criticism that was instilled in you while you were with the narcissist. And also the sense of inadequacy, the sense of I'm not enough. It's going to start pushing that away. You guys, this is awesome. Let me see what you are up to here. Obi-Wan says, I kept my resolution. Wow, I worked out 5 days a week all year long. Whoa, that's excellent. Excellent, Obi-Wan. That, by the way, is another one of my points later on, and I will point that out. Thank you for bringing that up. C. Thomas says, yes, they're nicer if they need money from you. Yeah. Oh, because 10 says they love your money. Oh, because Obi says, my family's nice to me when I have money. Oh my gosh. Yeah, because, whatever supply you have, the narcissist will come by for that. Okay, let me see. Charlotte says, recycling old supply. Yeah, that's what they do. Obi-Wan says, mine is karma. I used to make fun of my friends in that situation. Oh, right? Oh my gosh. Yeah. So the crappy is you did that, but the happy is that, or the good thing that comes out of that crappy is that you learn. So, and that's what we're all here to do. Andre, good to see you. Yeah. C. Thomas says, yes, I ruminate all the negative things, why I allowed the things I did. Exactly. And I think we tend to do that a lot during the holidays, and it just brings us down even more, right? And here's another thing that we do tend to do. I want to make you aware of. If you're not where you want to be, say you're not in a relationship, or you're not at the biggest party, or you don't have the family that you thought you would have by now, all these things, or you haven't achieved the financial whatever stage that you expected to be at by now, you start to blame yourself. You start to, and yes, you do need to take responsibility for some of these things, but the blame that you tend to give yourself is exaggerated. So be careful of that. Don't tell yourself that you don't deserve things. Don't tell yourself that you messed yourself up and there's no cure to this and you're never going to get better. Don't say things like that. Acknowledge, yeah, okay, maybe I didn't make the best decision. Maybe I didn't go after that promotion. Maybe I didn't work as hard as I should have. Maybe I quit the exercise program. But here's the deal. You can start over. You can change it, right? Once you acknowledge it, you can change it. All right, you guys, let me get here. C. Thomas says, I try to keep my mind busy and not think about the narc. Yes, that is so helpful. Obi-Wan says, I exercise religiously and never felt better. Yes, I agree with you. I did the same thing and it has made me feel a lot stronger. I'm just healthier minded. I have better sleep. It's great. Huda says, I have questions. Okay, I have a stepkids with the ex-narc. They are his kids. Okay. I had good relationship with the kids. I want nothing to do with their father. Should I keep talking to kids or not? Please help. Huda, you guys. Jihad says, do you have kids with him? From what I see here, Huda says they're they're her stepkids that she had with him. And Huda, here's the sad thing. You may have to let go of the kids along with the narcissist because they were not yours. You don't have any legal claim to them or legal ties to them. You have an emotional tie, and you might be able to send a birthday card to them, but even then, be careful, because if you put in a return address, then the narcissist will know where you are. It's a trap. It really is. It's not a good place to be, because any tie that you continue to have with the narcissist that's not absolutely necessary, like your They're not your father. They're not blood related in some way or legally bound to you. If you keep a relationship with them, you will essentially curse yourself. You will essentially carry, you're inviting in this curse to stay on you, even though the link is a good link or a possibly, you know, happy link. It will change, because once your narcissist gets remarried or has a different person in their life, a new partner in their life, the kids are going to attach to that partner and detach from you down the line. That's just what happens. They're going to attach to the people who are in their life, who are physically present in their life. And so I know it's hard to hear this, but I don't recommend that you stay in contact with the kids. You can give, and it depends on how old they are. If they're teenagers and they want to see you, that's one thing. But you have to respect their parents' wishes. Like if their parent does not want them to have a relationship with you, you cannot go seeking it. So, just wanted to share that with you. I had a situation in that's similar to that. It wasn't a lover, it was a friend, but her daughter was a teenager and had built a relationship with me and my family. So there came a time when there was a rift between the mother and me. The mother took something that I did as a slight against her, and even though I apologized, she would not forgive. And anyway, she's often, it's a big jealousy thing, I know, because I'm not going to get into it, but her daughter got into drugs and alcohol and sleeping around, and was pretty much throwing away her life. And she's just beautiful, this young, teenager. She was just a really beautiful young girl who then became an easy target for young men who want to sleep around. She's got this low self-esteem, she's getting into drugs, her mom needed help, we tried to help. When the mom cut relations with us, the daughter reached out and called me and wanted to talk, but she didn't go into details. She knew she didn't want to be disloyal to her mom. She didn't want to say anything negative about her mom. And I couldn't pull it out of her. Like, it was not my place to make her talk or make assumptions and start filling in the blanks, so that she would feel like I know what's going on. It was completely up to her. It was in her, how do you say that? It was in her court, right? The ball was in her court. So here's the other thing too. I had to ask her, what if her mom, I want to respect her mom. And I want to make sure that her mom's okay with her talking to me. So you see, her mom, she's legally bound to her mom. Her mom's legally bound to her. I'm not legally bound to either one of them. So I have to respect that. I have to respect that her mom has parental control. And if the daughter wanted to keep reaching out to me, I, was willing to talk to her, but she had to initiate. She had to broach the topics, right? I couldn't introduce the topics to her. I shouldn't be the one to do that. It has to be coming from her. And you can make yourself open to that. Like if they reach out to you, then, by all means, talk to them, but don't guide the discussion to bash the parent or anything like that. You have to just help with guidance for them to build their self-esteem and to bring goodness into their life. Anyway, you guys, that is my advice to you. Beats by Dark Knight, good to see you here. Says, hold on, let me go back actually. Yeah, Obi-Wan says, don't let him use the kids to lure you in. And that's also a possibility. If they call you, if the narcissist is the one calling you saying, the kids miss you and they want you back, which I'm not sensing that's the case here, but sometimes the narcissist will do that. And of course, you don't want to listen to that. That's not true. Obi-Wan, and even if the kids do, it's the narcissist using them more than, anyway, the narcissist is using them to try to get you back. Obi-Wan's right about that. Obi-Wan says, let his kids grow to hate the parent for running a good person off. This is true too, but Beat says, if I may, Huda, let it all go. I have a biological child with the narcissist, and I'm no contact with her and her children. My son is with me now. Wow. I'm so glad to hear that. See, Tom, and that's the thing too. I do, sometimes the kids get so disillusioned and deceived by the narcissist that they grow to hate the healthy parent, right? The victimized parent. And they support and are loyal to the narcissistic parent. Even in that case, you really cannot go in there and change their mind. They have to grow up and see for themselves and deduce for themselves, face the truth of how they were raised by the narcissist. They're aware. They are totally aware of their parent, of the abusive parent. So they hopefully will come out of that and see that you were the good parent during that time with them. And that, like Obi-Wan was saying, they will then start to resent the narcissistic parent from breaking off their relationship with you. And if that happens, they will find you. They will, you know what, the time that you spent with those kids, they will remember the goodness there. That will carry them into a healthy life if they don't become like the narcissist. Well, you guys, let me see here. Thank you, Beats by Dark Knight. That's awesome. You were right about that. See, Thomas says, Huda, I had to let go emotionally to the narc's 3 kids. They loved me, but when he left, I let go of them too. Although my adult daughter is their sister, she keeps in touch with them. It's very hard. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? You never know. They may come back into your life, right? See, Thomas? At some point, I think that kids who grow up and they realize what the truth was in the relationship between you and their parent, they will seek you out. They will seek a relationship with you. But if they don't worry about that, because if they don't, you're probably better off that they don't, because they may have become too loyal to the narcissistic parent and see you as the enemy, and you don't want that coming into your life. Yeah, you guys. Grace, good to see you. Grace Jador. That is such a difficult and heartbreaking situation. Yes, it is. Wow, you guys, let me see. There are a lot of great comments here. Oh, Jania, good to see you. Only half an hour late. That's awesome. I'm glad that you're here. Obi-Wan says, story of my life. Wait a minute, I missed something. What's the story of your life? Aw. Okay, Janaea says, mine are in their mid-40s and still can't stop abusing me. You see what I mean? If there are, and that's the thing with kids, you don't know how they're going to turn out. You may have had a great relationship with them when they were younger, but if a narcissist parent is in their life and continues to raise them, there's a big chance that they're going to come out of it quite messed up, quite toxic, very abusive, and take it out on the victim parent, right? The victimized parent, because the victimized parent doesn't lash back, doesn't fight back, isn't as manipulative. So it gets very, very dark. And I wanted to tell you, Huda, that it's okay. It's okay to let them go. Yeah. Oh, he says earlier parenting. Yeah. That's the story of your life. Yeah. Grace says, I totally relate. I am estranged from my sister because she is abusive and toxic, and I love and miss my nieces. Yeah. And nephews terribly. My heart aches for anyone who has to leave children behind because of a narc. Yes. It is, you know what? That is, what do they call that? Casualties of war. You know, we can't, we can only try to do our best where we are and create an environment that's safe, so that when people want to come back into our life, these kids, when they become adults or they get older into their teen years and they want to reach out to you, you will be in a really good place, really healthy, solid place where if they do come back into your life, first of all, you're going to know how far and what you're willing to give, right? And then second of all, you're going to have a safe place for them to come to where they're not going to deal with another crazy, unbalanced, toxic, or not, maybe not toxic, but abused and wounded parent. They're going to deal with an adult who's solid. And that's where you're going to be able to give them great advice and guidance. So yeah, I have a lot of hope for you. Okay, you guys, let's go to the next. There are 7 points I wanted to bring out here about getting rid of this narcissist curse through the holidays. So we went through when you remember, you have to remember the list of all the bad that the narcissist did. So if you're going through the stage where you're missing the narcissist during this time, make this list of all the bad things that the narcissist did so that you don't miss them through the holidays. You remember and you stay close to the truth of what your relationship was. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 is, and instead of reflecting on your life the way we normally do, because we normally tend to go towards the negative stuff. We tend to look back at our lives and think about what we did not accomplish, or what we failed at, or what we did wrong, right? And how things blew up along the way. Instead of reflecting the way we normally do, start thinking about the good things that you did. You know, start thinking also, look at your reflection. When you're reflecting back, reflect the way you would on somebody else's life. You know, if you look back on your friend's life, you're not going to say, wow, I can't believe you really messed that up. And boy, you were a real dummy for doing this. And I can't believe you were so easily manipulated. You don't reflect back on your friends' lives and their mistakes the way you do on your own, right? So stop being so critical of your own self when you're reflecting back. So number 3 was you write a list of your blessings. So we tend to think about the negatives in our background or in our past. Instead of doing that, you can do some of those, okay? But also make a list of the blessings. So every bad thing that you think of, write something that's good that you did, or a blessing that happened or was given to you sometime during the year. And I want you to have at least 10 of these things, 10 blessings that occurred to you or were given to you or that you caused along the way, okay? Maybe you lost 5 pounds. Maybe you gained muscle weight. Maybe you made a new friend, right? Put that down as a blessing. Or maybe you adopted or got a pet, right? That's good. So also maybe a compliment, you know, that someone gave you sometime during the year. Like carry that with you. You know how we carry negative words with you and criticisms with us? Like if somebody said something negative to us, we tend to carry that, even though there might have been 5 other people who said positive things to you. We carry the one negative comment with us farther and longer, and we shouldn't. So what I want you to do is, if somebody had made a positive comment, gave you a compliment through the year, oh, you know how they really liked your hair, write that down. Write that down. They saw that you lost weight, write that down. They think that you're funny, write that down. You know, if you got a compliment at all, and I'm sure you have, write down those compliments. Remember those compliments. Now carry this list and look at this list every day. This is my challenge to you guys. Look at this list every day for the next 6 weeks. All right, well into the new year, because I want you to remember the positive things in your life. Okay, number 4, we're getting on to the next thing. The number 4 thing to help you get rid of the narcissist curse. I start this off by letting you know that the narcissist instilled in you what was wrong with you, right? And they instilled in you the pain of rejection. And this is sadly a gift that they give you. It's not a good gift, okay? Not all of gifts that we get are good gifts, all right? The gifts that we get from the narcissist are curses. They're horrible gifts. So it's the gift of criticism. It's the gift of degradation. It's the gift of shame. It's the gift of guilt. These are gifts that the narcissist has given you. And guess what you can do with gifts? You can send it back. You can reject it. You can say, I don't want this gift. You may have even taken it as if, they come to you with a bushel of flowers, right? Or a box of chocolates, or they come to you with jewelry, right? Or they come to you with a new TV, let's say, right? Or a new earbuds that are dynamic, right? Noise canceling, or yeah, they come to you with anyway, whatever beautiful, wonderful gift that you would love. But this gift turns out to be toxic. Can you get rid of that bushel of flowers? Can you throw away that box of chocolates? Can you throw away those earbuds or that TV that they gave you? Oh yeah, absolutely. When those things break or get rot, or if they are full of just nasty mold or anything like that, you get rid of it, right? So this gift that the narcissist gave you of rejection, of guilt, of shame, of self-criticalness, of degradation, of toxicity, give it back. Throw it out of your house. And I'm telling you, there's something good about saying it. I reject it. Just say it out loud. I reject the guilt that so-and-so gave me. I reject the shame that so-and-so gave me. I reject the rejection that my mom gave me, right? You can say that. Or I reject the nasty words, the name calling that my father gave me. I reject the cheating, the degrading that my boyfriend gave me. You can say that. You can reject it. I don't take this gift from you. It's a curse, and I see it as a curse, and I reject it. So that's number 4. Do that. Do that, you guys. I kid you not. It will empower you, because you're like, wow, I actually didn't keep it. I didn't keep this horrible gift that they tried to give me. I'm getting rid of it. Oh my gosh, it is so freeing. I cannot stress this enough, and I may come back to it again and again, because I think that this is the absolute best thing you can do to get rid of that curse that the narcissist leaves on you. And once you get rid of that, you may have to do it a few times, because it will try to creep back into your house. Like, it's so terrible, but imagine those earbuds trying to like creep back into your house, or those what am I thinking of, a box of chocolates, right, trying to creep back into your house. Like, no, get out of here. I do not want this gift from the narcissist. If it came from the narcissist, it is toxic, and I'm not going to be fooled into thinking that it will somehow help me, because it does not help me. Okay, you guys? So that's number 4. Number 5, I have 7 of these, you guys. So number 5, hold on. Before I get to 5, I want to see what you guys are saying here. Obi-Wan says it's the victim's parent. Oh, the victim parents, they left their child stuck with the abuse in the kid's eyes. Yeah, sometimes the kids don't understand that, and they think that the parent who is not raising them abandoned them and left them to be abused by the abusive parent. And that is something that, sadly, again, you have to wait for them to grow up, and you can get in touch with them as adults, or they will find you and they will want to know what happened, and and then you'll be able to tell them the whole story. And I've heard stories like that too, where after years the kids come to talk to the estranged parent, and find out from the estranged parent what really happened, because that parent never bashed and came against the parent that was raising the kids, because that would have made life even more miserable for the kids. Yeah. Grace, good to see you. Oh, I said that already, but it says, thank you for all you do. Thank you, Grace. I'm so glad that I can be here for you guys. Oh, you guys, and I always forget this. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe. I really stink at being a businesswoman, by the way. Maybe you guys can help me with this. But yeah, subscribe. And if you see a commercial, come on, watch 1 or 2. That really helps me. I'm such a small channel that this is a drop in the bucket. but it will definitely help me. And it does encourage me that you guys are here and that you are interacting. And I just love that you're here on the live stream. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Obi-Wan says, I give compliments to people because I know what it's like to be miserable. Ah, yeah. You know what? I love that. I love that, Obi-Wan, because this is what I've started doing too. Years ago, I caught myself several times wanting to give somebody a compliment. No, like I really like their coat, or I think that their skin is really beautiful, or, they're very, they just make me laugh. I love their humor, things like that. But instead of telling them, I hold back. And I hold back for one, because I thought, well, my opinion doesn't matter. Number two, I'm thinking, oh, I'm sure they already know this, so what does it matter if I say it? And number three, I think there's, just some insecurity in me that felt like I can't even put my finger on it. It might have even been jealousy. Like if I give a compliment, then that somehow lowers me, like makes me worse. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense, right? So, or maybe it's like came from a place of depletion. I really didn't have it in me to give to others, so I felt depleted already. So that was years ago. After that, I started going, you know what? I'm just going to tell people what I think, and no, maybe my opinion doesn't matter, but I want them to know I like their hair, or I think that jacket's really cool, or man, that was a funny joke, or, you crack me up. I tell people this now, and I feel very comfortable doing it now because I know it's not, I'm not inflating myself. I'm not thinking that my opinion's the best or something like that. I'm simply giving because it feels good to give. Just like what you're saying, Obi-Wan. You come from a place where you know what it's like not to be noticed or to be miserable, and here you notice somebody and you give them acknowledgement that you notice them, and oh my gosh, it's a beautiful gift to give somebody. So I love that. Thanks for pointing that out. Grace says, yes, amen. Charlotte says, I give compliments to Obi-Wan. Oh, too, just because I like to make people feel good about themselves. Oh, that's nice. Oh my gosh, are you serious? No, this cannot be. Charlotte says, I lost 150 pounds this year. Are you saying 15 pounds or 150 pounds? Oh my gosh, when I went no contact for my narc. That is amazing. Amazing, you guys. Awesome. So did we get to number 5? Okay, number 5 is practice and cultivate self-care. Yeah, practice this. I mean, it's one thing to say, oh, love yourself and take good care of yourself and think well of yourself. But I'm saying practice and cultivate this, right? When you have a plant and you neglect it, you don't water it. And this is kind of funny to me because I'm actually quite good with plants. And it's not that I do anything huge, and I don't read books on what do they call it? Agriculture or anything like that. I just water them. That's it. Every week or sometimes twice a week, I feel the dirt and I'm like, oh, the dirt's dry. I'm going to give it some water. Or it's starting to dry out. I'm going to give it some water. And I do. I just give it water. So my plants grow really well. And people will tell me all the time, oh, I can't grow anything. I can't, plants always die on me. And I'm like, wow, I'm not quite sure why. You don't have to give it a lot of attention, but you have to give it some attention. And the point I'm making here is, and the attention doesn't even have to be big. It's just I watered it with tap water. I didn't even use, plant food or anything like that for years. Just recently, about I guess this year, I started using a little bit of plant food. And I thought, oh, why not? I'll mix it into, and I don't even think about it. Like maybe once or twice a year, I'll remember to give my plants a little bit of plant food. But yeah, the point I'm trying to make is when you cultivate and practice self-care, it goes a long way check your water level, check your dirt, see if it's dry. If you're feeling depleted, if you're feeling tired, give yourself sleep. If you're feeling weak, go work out. If you're feeling miserable about your weight, look into eating healthier, working out, I don't know, something small even. Just something small will change your life. And I actually do a video on that called Making the Narcissist Miss You Can Be Healthy. So I'll put that in that little eye icon to the right, all the videos that I'll recommend to you. Another video I've also done was called, oh yeah, a letter from a narcissist. That helps you to heal, helps you to see the things that you agreed to with the narcissist, that now that you're away from the narcissist, you can see are agreements that you should never, ever, ever should have made. So once you realize those agreements, you can start to cultivate and practice self-care and stop focusing only on other people. Start to focus a little bit on yourself. Start to focus on your needs and what you require to heal, right? And to grow. You just need a little watering, and you're going to grow into these amazing, beautiful people. Just like my plants. I just give them water. That's all I did for years. Just watered them. And not even special water of any kind. And they just have all grown into beautiful plants. So you guys, let me see. That was number 5. I do have another thing here. Somebody mentioned this earlier, that they keep their mind busy or keep busy so their mind doesn't drift to the narcissist during this time. That is part of cultivating and practicing self-care. So keeping busy is not necessarily a bad thing. I actually had a friend recently who said that she had to stop keeping busy. And I can kind of see for her, the busy that she was filling her life with was not maybe self-care and healing type of busy, right? It was probably more stress that she was adding to her life. So I'm not talking about keeping that kind of busy, right? I want you to keep the kind of busy that will improve your life. That, cleaning your house, cleaning your room, start organizing your kitchen, start organizing your calendar, right? If you have stacks of paper, and like most of us have to deal with, right, from the mail and bills and whatnot, organize that, go through that, keep busy in that way, get it straightened out. If you have stacks of books on the floor, go through those books and get rid of them. Keep some of them, but create a pile to donate books, right? If you just have clutter, start cleaning out the clutter. I've gone into this before too. It's so amazing. If you keep busy in these ways, and it seems small and it seems like it doesn't take a lot of mental energy, but it frees you. It just clears your mind. It clears your heart. It clears your space, not just your physical space, but your mental space. So that is part of practicing and cultivating self-care, you guys. One of the videos I did make also, let me see. Making the narcissist, I already talked about that. And one of the videos I had made that you could also watch, it's called How to Heal After the Narcissist, or True Healing, something like that. I'll put it in the little eye icon for you guys. Okay, you guys, on to number 6. We have 2 more. Oh, let me see here. Janaya is recommending the fog of war or collateral damage. Oh, I see. Yeah, you're talking about what happens when we end up having to leave people behind. And it's true. I've had this happen too. Sometimes it's even the fan club. You may have become friends with some of the narcissist fan club or their flying monkeys, and you have to let that go, right? You cannot pursue a relationship with anybody from their fan club or from their flying monkeys. Even if you used to go to lunch every week with them, you have to let that go, because it's a connection to the narcissist that will become like a horrible umbilical cord that keeps your life. It will drain, instead of giving you life, it will drain the life out of you. So be careful of that. Let me see here, you guys. Oh, wow. Charlotte says, I still feel fat, but working on my mindset. Ah, yes. It's so true though, right? I mean, even though we don't carry the physical scars anymore of weight gain, for instance, or something that's happened, even if it's not there physically, it's there mentally, right? The self-criticalness, or the self-sabotage. Yeah. So I'm glad you realize that, and that you're working on that, C. Thomas. Or I'm sorry, Charlotte. Glad you're working on that. C. Thomas says, yes, good to serve too. Helping, volunteering, being there for those in need helps. Yes, it does. And by the way, you're getting ahead of me. Okay, number 6 is self-compassion. Start moving towards something good. Start volunteering. Start taking care of something else, right? Taking care of a pet, loving on a pet, taking care of an elderly neighbor who, doesn't have a lot of interaction. And actually, I kind of noticed that too. Gosh, it's been a while. I remember seeing a news story about elderly people who feel invisible because, you know, young adults, and unless they're young children will notice an elderly person, but generally teenagers on up don't notice elderly people. They just don't feel a connection with them. They don't interact with them. They don't even acknowledge and say hello. They just walk by. So a lot of times elderly people will feel alone and feel neglected. So if you see an elderly person sitting on a bench, sit down and start chatting with them. Say hi to them, wave, or smile and say good morning to them, or good afternoon. It's amazing the things that you can do, and it feeds your compassion, right? You can have compassion for yourself, and then have compassion so that you can have compassion for others. I love to recommend volunteering. I've done a lot of volunteering work myself, all over the place, from food pantries to homeless people to, and I'm not talking about one day out of the year. I'm talking about for multiple years, or multiple months in some cases. So yeah, you guys, volunteering in a group for in the prisons. Yeah, I've done that. I've helped out at the Humane Society. We used to take the van out. Actually, we would prepare the animals and their paperwork when there would be an adopt-a-thon off location, right? Somewhere else at a conference, not conference, like at a, I don't want to say circus. What do you call those? Like a fair or something like that, right? We would bring the truck with several dogs, smaller dogs and cats, and bring them out to be adopted. It was good. It was very, very good. So I do recommend that. That's part of compassion. Spread compassion to others, but also to yourself. Have compassion for yourself and have compassion for others. That will fight off the curse that the narcissist had put on you. So number 7, you guys, is the last one. We are at our 1 hour mark. And I want to see what you guys are saying here before we get to number 7. Oh, let me see. I'm sorry, let me go back a little bit. Somehow I missed quite a bit. Wow, okay. Okay, C. Thomas says, I practice more self-care now and stop people pleasing and take care of me more because it was hard for me to say no. Yes, I agree with that. My husband often reminds people who come into our circles and talk with us, and especially about narcissistic abuse or toxic relationships. He always chimes in and he says, I just want to remind you that no is a complete sentence. And I love the reaction that he gets because people will go, oh, that's right. It's such a good reminder. No is a complete sentence. You don't really have to go into why you're not agreeing to something. You just say, oh, no, I can't, or I don't want to, or just no, I can't. No. Will you do this? No, no. I don't have the time. I can't. Whatever. I usually follow it up with that, but yeah. So I love that. No is a complete sentence. Huda says, this narc that I was with, wait, his wife, she's gone mental. She's in the hospital. I didn't before I get with him until later on. It was too late to know. When I talked to her, she's so normal. I think he convinced her. Oh, wait, so you talked to his wife, or I'm not quite sure, Huda, what you're saying here, that his wife thought that you thought that his wife had gone mental and that he told you that she was in the hospital, and later on you didn't know, though, when you talked to her, she seemed so normal. So I'm not quite sure. Oh, Huda says that she was sick. It scared me to see what she went through. Oh, that he had essentially made her go crazy. And yes, that can happen because when you have been told a truth is a lie and a lie is a truth, and that's how narcissists work, you go absolutely crazy. I want to do another video at another point called, let me think, something like the crash after narcissistic abuse, because there is, and sometimes we completely crash after narcissistic abuse, and it sounds like what she went through. That's definitely a whole video onto itself. It is very scary and very hard, and it is part of that curse that I want you to get away from. And that's why I came with this list of 7 things, and we'll rehash the list at the end. I want to give you the whole list all at once at the end. Who says, oh no, Janaea says, the good in my life is that I have wonderful friends who are eager to help me, especially now since breaking my ankle and foot. And I rarely ever think of my ex. He's been dead for about 14 years. Wow. C. Thomas says, yes, Huda, that ex-narcs exes seem normal, but I found out they suffered too. Yes, they did. C. Thomas says, yes, I remember keeping busy when I got discarded and was going out. Was not a healthy way until I found out self-care busy was better. Yes, self-care busy. You guys had missed that earlier. We're talking about, number, which number was that? 5. Keeping busy is not just about busying yourself with anything. It's self-care. It's the kind of busy that will actually improve your life. And I'm going to touch on some of that for number 7 here, you guys. So number 7, the very last thing, is that every day is a new beginning. Every day is a new beginning. You don't have to wait to the new year to start a New Year's resolution or to start a resolution, right? You can start a resolution or begin over at any given time, anytime. So for me, I want to share with you guys what I had done back in August of last year, or is it September? August, September time. I started this YouTube channel. And it was sort of a resolution for me. It wasn't a New Year's resolution, right? But it definitely was a resolution because I felt I needed a place to share and connect with people who had gone through what I had gone through, and to share what I had learned and to learn from others, right? From their experiences. And I committed a whole year to this. I told myself, and I told God, because I am a Christian, I said, you know what? I'm going to commit to a whole year of doing YouTube. And then we'll see where it goes after that. It may end. You can take it all away. It's fine. But I'm going to do an entire year and commit to doing this. And you guys, doing that resolution, committing to that resolution has been life-changing. It has made me so much stronger, so much more aware, so much more secure in my mental ability, security, I don't know how to put that, but it has it has solidified in me some confidence that I never had before. And I'm still growing. It's still amazing. I'm getting to the point where I'm getting better and better at confrontation, which I hate, by the way. But I'm getting a lot better at addressing things and telling people what I want and what I don't want. And I'm okay with that. And I can do it in a good way without fearing and without being demanding. So it's awesome. I've been so pleased with this resolution. You guys, I want to share with you because I want you to know you can start a resolution at any time. So, by the way, starting this year also, when did I start this? I think it was July. Um, I decided that I needed another resolution. I needed to do something else. And what I started doing was Spanish. I started learning Spanish. Oh my gosh, what the heck, right? And I chose Spanish because I thought, well, it'd be most useful because of here in the United States, there are a lot of Spanish speaking people. And and it was a language I never learned. I never learned anything in Spanish other than the occasional gracias or buenos dias or something like that. That's about all I knew, right? Or de nada. I knew so little Spanish. But I wanted to just start with something completely fresh, something completely new. I did not have a background for it all and see where it went. So every day for a year, this is what I have committed to, is doing at least 15 minutes of Spanish. So I'd like to bump it up to at least an hour every day. So I'm getting to that point. It's about, I probably do about 30 minutes to possibly an hour each day now. So that is exciting to me. And I'm already noticing, wow, I understand more Spanish. I don't understand a lot of Spanish, but I actually know far more than I did 3 months ago. So that's just crazy for me. I love it. You know, this new beginning that you can do for yourself is life changing. You can start at any time and do anything. Just pick anything and then stick with it. Like, get yourself, even when you don't feel like it, get yourself to do it. You'll be so glad that you pushed through and you committed. Like, set a goal, set an end point so that you know, okay, I'll do this for, you can even choose 3 months. I'll do this for 3 months. And by this date, by February 1st, I'm going to stop doing it or allow myself to stop doing it. But every day until then, I'm going to do this. And then you set your goal and you know, like, oh, I only have to do this till February 1st. Then it's going to be over and I can move on with my life. You might surprise yourself that you might want to continue doing the good thing that you started. So you guys, this has strengthened me and saved me from slipping downward. And that's why I want to share that with you. There's a seduction of safety in stagnation. There is. It makes you feel like I don't have to move. I don't have to do something. I don't have to try something different. But then what ends up happening is you start to slide backwards. Even though you don't want to slide backwards, you tend to slide backwards if you're not looking forward or if you're not strengthening your grip in some way, right? So to break that downward slide, you want to focus on something that's going to start pulling you forward. That's going to either pull you forward or keep you from falling backwards, right? So that's why making progress in something, when you start a New Year's resolution and you keep with it, it actually propels you forward. It's amazing. I'd never been able to keep a New Year's resolution before. Never. Yeah, I've tried so many different New Year's resolutions, and I would start like everybody on January 1st, you know. And what I found is it's better to start when you decide the starting date will be, not when society tells you the starting date, not when everybody else is starting it. Do it when you decide and you make a commitment to yourself. And you know what? Make a commitment to, if you don't believe in God, make a commitment to the universe. Make a commitment to society. Make a commitment to whether your neighbor even is aware of it or not, to your neighbor. Like, I'm going to shovel your driveway every time it snows. Like, make that commitment, whether they know it or not, you know, to the elderly neighbor. You might be surprised what these commitments that you make to yourself that only you know about But when you keep those commitments, it will propel you forward. So I just want to let you know that. I had heard also about these new beginnings that there's always a new beginning. People will say there's a new job. You may have started a new job. I mean, all year long, you've had new beginnings, right? You might have moved to a new apartment. That's a new beginning. You might have started seeing a new doctor. That's a new beginning. You might have made a new friend. That's a new beginning. You might have gotten a pet. That's a new beginning. So you guys, we are always in a new beginning. So choose one for yourself, stick with it, and even acknowledge it. That's one of the things too. Just acknowledge that you've had these new beginnings. It's so good. Well, you guys, let me recap for you guys the 7 things that we mentioned today about breaking this curse from the narcissist. Because we tend to look back and we tend to think negatively about ourselves and our actions, right? Our choices through the year. And I want to break that. We've made bad choices with the narcissist. The narcissist has made some bad choices for us as well along the way. We don't have to keep that. We do not have to keep that. We can reject that and move on. And we can choose different things, by the way. We can choose different beginnings for ourselves. Well, you guys, let me see what you are saying here. We are going to end Happy Crappy Hour in probably in the next 10-15 minutes, but I just want to let you guys catch up with your conversations and wrap those up. Oh my goodness, Janaea says, he tried to have me committed and told everyone I was a mental case. People would ask me out of the blue if I was okay. Crazy making. The next wife did go into a mental hospital. Poor girl. Yes. It is absolutely so hard to keep your sanity when you're with a narcissist. And that's why, especially through the holidays, we fall into a depression or we fall into more self-criticalness. It's in your mind. It's a lot of mind games that the narcissist has left you with, and you can get rid of that. Grace says, hold on. Okay, C. Thomas says, trying something new is great. Grace says, that's awesome. When God is involved, it blesses us even more. Yes. Grace says, I'm Hispanic and have a hard time speaking Spanish, although I was raised speaking it. Wow. She says, LOL. You can definitely learn it with no problem when you are taught the right way. Woohoo. Well, you guys, let me recap the 7 points in case you have missed it of how to reject the narcissist curse. All right. People tend to reflect and examine their life this time of year. And when we reflect on it, we tend to glamorize the narcissist, right? And start to miss the narcissist. What I want you to do is make a list of all the bad things the narcissist did so that you can face the truth every time and not miss the narcissist through this time of year. Number 2 is instead of just reflecting on your life, because we tend to be more critical of ourselves, start reflecting on your life as if you're looking through the lens of a friend, right? If you're looking at your friend's life, you wouldn't criticize them throughout the year about all the things that went wrong, right? You might actually see them as being a victim of some of them, some of the things that happened. You might see that, yeah, maybe they did make a bad decision or bad choices somewhere along the way, but you wouldn't be hard on them. You would just say, well, then just do this or do that and change that direction, right? So do that for yourself when you're reflecting. See yourself as a friend. Number 3 is write a list of all the blessings you did, right? And all the blessings that came to you, all the good things that you did. So instead of reflecting on all the wrong things that happened in your life and all the bad things that you did or the mistakes that you made, start making a list. Every time you think of something bad, make a list that next to it that focuses on all the good things that happened to you. Maybe somebody said something nice to you this year, right? And I'm sure they did. write that down, right? You probably will remember it probably made an impact on you. This time when someone complimented you about your clothes, or they complimented you for your humor or your brains, or how you were helpful to them. They thanked you for being so helpful. Write that down. And then also other blessings that people gave you, right? People who come into your life this year that you're grateful for. Write this list down. And then carry this list and read it every day for the next 6 weeks. I want you to read this list. And you can add to it too. That's the awesome thing. Number 4 is the narcissist instilled in you what all was wrong with you. And they instilled in you the pain of rejection. They instilled in you guilt. They left you with these gifts, right? From the narcissist. These gifts that are actually horrible gifts. They're curses. They gave you the, criticalness, and they gave you words, they called you names, name calling or whatever, they put you down, all these put downs. These are gifts from them, as if, treat it like they gave you a box of chocolates that you didn't want, a box of rotten chocolates, okay? You did not want this. You can reject it. You can send it back. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to keep it in your house. You do not have to keep it in your heart. You just simply reject it. And you can say that too. I reject this. I reject this gift of guilt from them, or curse of guilt, right, from them. I reject it. It is not a gift. I see that it's a curse, and I don't want it. You say that and you get rid of it. Number 5 is practice and cultivate self-care. You want to keep busy, but not busy with things that will stress you out more. You want to keep busy with things that will add to your life, that will actually improve your life. And part of keeping busy that I put in is, start cleaning up your house. Clean up the clutter. Go through your old books and get rid of the old things that you don't want anymore. Clear off your nightstand. Clear off your bathroom sink. Create a space that's open and clean. And do one room or one corner of your place at a time. That will keep you busy. And from thinking, every time you start thinking about the negative things, or the narcissist, or the abuse, or the trauma, and not in a good way, that with a therapist who can help you get out of it, but it starts to overwhelm you. It starts to take over your mind and your attitudes and your emotions. Start getting busy. Start getting busy taking care of yourself. Cultivate and practice self-care. Get busy going swimming. Get busy making new friends. Get busy getting involved in a new activity, right? Or learning something new. So number 6 was self-compassion. Give yourself some compassion and give others compassion. Start volunteering. I love that. I love volunteering. Do something for the Humane Society, or animal shelter, or horse rescue. There are all kinds of rescues out there. So amazing. You can also volunteer and go into prisons, by the way. You have a captive audience there. You have people who don't normally maybe even get visitors. And if you come and they join your class, you can read to them. You can teach them something new. If you're a beautician, you can teach them hair care. You can teach them skin care. It's amazing what you can do. If you're a man, you can go in and, again, help with that, teach them how to have healthy relationships. It's amazing what you can do. You don't have to do that. I mean, that's a big volunteer commitment. You can do food shelters. You can do homeless shelters. So many things out there. Number 7 was a new beginning. Every day is a new beginning. And at any time, you can choose to do a resolution. You don't have to wait until January 1st to start a resolution. You can start at any time, just like I did. Back in August last year, I started this YouTube channel, or is it September? But I started this YouTube channel. That was a resolution and a commitment I made to myself and to God, that I was going to stick with this for a year. And then I would, have an end point. Let yourself have an end point. It's okay. I think maybe a lot of times resolutions don't work because people don't give themselves an end point. You can say, I'm going to work out for the next 30 days and I'm going to end by, January or what is it from today? It would be December 27th. I'm going to stop exercising by December 27th. Or give myself the option to stop. I just got to make it till then, you know? So do it for 30 days. And then when December 27th comes along, you might find that you want to keep going. Just like this channel, I've kept going because you guys are here. This is great. And this has helped me from backsliding. It has helped me from, it's helped me from giving up ground. And in fact, I've taken up ground. I've gotten more territory. I've gotten more out of doing this channel than I ever expected. And I've met a lot of really great people through this channel. And I feel like I've helped some people. And I know some people have said that on this channel, which just makes it like, wow, I'm so glad that I was able to do this. I'm so glad that I got to meet these people, and I've gotten to meet you guys through the channel. So you guys, you never know where your resolution might take you. And my current resolution is learning Spanish. I'm doing it for a year. So July of next year is when I've set my stop date. So if I can do Spanish every day until July of next year, I've gone pretty far, right? It's been quite a few months now. So if I can get through July of next year, I've given myself the okay to stop. But I have a feeling I'm going to keep going and then I'm going to add something else. This is life, and life is good. And I want you guys to know that. I want you guys to know that there are so many good things here, and you guys, I want you to enjoy it. I want you to benefit from it. And I want you to give away the horrible gifts that you were given. Okay. You don't have to keep every gift that you're given. Get rid of the terrible ones. Get rid of the curses that a narcissist unloaded on you. Just say no to them, reject them, move on with your life. You're going to do great. But thank you so much for joining me on Happy Crappy Hour. Thank you so much for being here and supporting this channel and supporting me. Oscar and I are glad to see you each day or each week, and stay in touch. Make some comments. I do go through my comments that YouTube notifies me about, because it's hard to go through every channel or every video I've done just to see what comments are there. But YouTube does notify me when I get comments, at least most of the time. And I do see your comments, and when I do, I will respond to them. So blessings to you guys. Have a great Thanksgiving, and I will see you next week.